It is April 27th, 2021. We're here on the rooftop of the house located at 7625 El Paso Street in La Mesa, California, 91942. So right here on the rooftop, we're going to pan across. We are over the garage right now, and we have our vent right here for our laundry and utility sink, and then the kitchen is just spanning side by side almost through the other side wall. So we don't always normally try to get through the small 2-inch pipes, but we figured we'd go ahead and give it a quick attempt. We are using a smaller camera here. We have a different one for the main sewer. So we're going down this vent here, and there's not always a guarantee we can get through the kitchen. Okay, this has been replaced with some ABS pipe, and we did notice that they had a newer standpipe buried in the wall for the laundry with a recessed box. So that's this newer ABS pipe, and then you can see it transitions back to the original cast iron. So here, this is making the transition into the pipe. You can see we've got some heavy buildup there already. So you can see right there in the line, as soon as we made that turn into the pipe, there's this really heavy buildup right there. So that could be lint, soap scum, and some other foreign debris. Could even be something from when the pipe was cut to add in that little bit of plastic. So as you can see, that is blocking a majority of the pipe. So obviously liquid water and everything still draining through there, but this definitely needs to be snaked out. So we're not going to be able to go ahead and try to push the camera through here, because if there's a hard object right there, or if we end up causing a clog in the line, then we'd be responsible. We don't want to damage our equipment. We don't want to cause any problems here. But as you can see right here, this is blocking a majority of the pipe. So this needs to be snaked out real simply from the rooftop here, and then flushed with water. And then the line can be looked at the rest of the way with the camera. And I'm sure they've already had a home inspector and show that everything's draining fine. But sometimes the camera will see if it needs a bigger cleaning, or if there's any other issues with any other objects or heavy debris, just like we see right here in the pipe. So we're now going to go ahead and pause and move over to the main sewer. Okay, so we moved over to the other side of the rooftop here on this side of the house. And so this is above the 2 bathrooms. Here we have the original 3-inch cast iron vent. Now on the other side of the house here, outside the bathrooms on the ground level, there is a 3-inch clean out down there on the ground level, ABS plastic. So we assume the whole lines have been updated, possibly, that they added that clean out. But because we had to come up on the rooftop just to try to attempt to look at that kitchen and laundry line, that's why we're just going to go ahead and start here. We also want to make sure there's no construction debris, and that they actually did tie the vent in, because sometimes we've seen remodelers and flippers do that on occasion. So a little bit of cobwebs there, but it looks like we don't need to clean up our lens. So this will lead directly into the beginning of the main sewer, because the 2 toilets that are side by side in this bathroom will begin into the system right here. Okay, so you can see right there, there's a bunch of wipes in the line. So even the wipes that say flushable are never recommended to be put down the line. They are thicker than paper towel. The only reason they actually say the word flushable is that the city municipality said that they would accept them at their city treatment plants, but they are terrible for sewer lines. Whether you have cast iron or plastic, they will clog up the line and cause issues. So again, here's where the 2 toilets dump in. We can see these wipes are being flushed down the line here. It is all still cast iron right here, so it looks like that ABS clean out we saw on the side might be just an extension only. So as you can see right here, it is still all the original cast iron. There's a little T-junction off the right that picks up all the other fixtures in these bathrooms as we pass these other T-junctions. There's another one on the left. The cast iron looks in very good condition right here. Now here you can see we're coming across, and now we're making a left-hand turn essentially at this T-junction. And the back side of that T-junction is what would be picking up probably the kitchen and that laundry. So we're going to sweep through this turn right there. Here we go. We're now headed towards the street. We should be headed towards El Paso itself. line looks in very good condition so far. There's very little scale or buildup or deposits inside the pipe. We're also, again, looking for any foreign debris, any objects, construction debris, any root intrusions, and any areas of the pipe that would be holding water, what we call a sag, due to improper slope. And again, we sometimes try to look at the kitchen line, but in this case we had that debris immediately at the laundry, and usually the kitchen line is full of so much fat, food, and grease debris, it's hard to actually get through that one without having to do any cleaning of the pipe. But the main sewer is our biggest concern, so we're now continuing again, still down this original cast iron pipe that is in good condition, no issues. Okay, so we didn't see any in the front yard because there's a lot of big rocks, but obviously they did dig this up at one point in time, and there's the clean out there. So you can see right here we have cast iron ending, looks to be 3-inch, and then this 3-inch cast iron becomes 3-inch ABS, and you can see that vertical pipe right there. That is a clean out that somebody installed. And then we go across, and there's the second clean out. So they put in 2 clean outs so they crisscross each other so you can go in both directions. So there are clean outs on the front lawn or front rock hardscaped area. As we come up right here, you can see a slight misalignment on the pipe. It's not that bad, not a huge deal. We don't see any wipes or any other paper or feces or any debris clogged on it, but you can see that you can actually see the wall thickness of the cast iron pipe on the whole right-hand side of the screen. And obviously you shouldn't see that because the two should have joined perfectly centered on each other. And so that's why there's a miniature amount of standing water right there. It's, again, not a big deal. It's not anything large at all, but we're just pointing it out since it is there. It's a smooth transition now into the rest of this cast iron that still looks in good condition here. Here we've got a little turn on the line. Looking at the top of the screen right there, making sure that wasn't some kind of weird small roots, but no, it just looks like it's some discoloration on the pipe. Continuing down here, and we should be coming up on the property line pretty soon, which is where the horizontal pipe's going to have to make a vertical downturn, typically a few feet in front of the city sidewalk. Okay, and here's that property line clean out. So you can see right here, this pipe here makes a full 90-degree turn. The top part of it is an original T-junction. It actually goes up just slightly, and that was done for the test purposes when the home was built, and then they usually cap it off. They never brought it to surface like they're required to do nowadays. So if we can't get through this turn right here, we'll probably move our cameras, of course, down to ground level so that we can go ahead and see how maneuverability is when we're a little bit closer. Okay, we did make that first 90 right there. Now continuing down, now this vertical pipe, as you can see, is going to only run for a few feet, and then there'll be another 90, and then typically it's going to transition into 4-inch clay pipe. Okay. So at this bottom right here, you can see there's a little bit of standing water at the turn, which is kind of typical, but as far as the camera being able to be pushed through here, we can't get it through this from the distance we're at and the turns we've made. So we'll have to move down to ground level. We are also going to go ahead and first pause and locate to see where those clean outs are on the front lawn. They must be buried just slightly under the rocks there. And then additionally, because we again did notice that there was a clean out on the side of the house, we need to go ahead and look down inside there to see if that is in fact just an area drain or if it's a tie-in, because we didn't notice any ABS under the house from where we came through here. So it might just be that there was always an original cast iron clean out and they just transitioned it to newer ABS. But we'll check that on the side of the house, on the side yard. So here's our clean outs right here that were added. So we're going to go ahead and pause right here for 1 second so we can go ahead and locate this, since they obviously should be just barely under the rock bed in the front yard. Okay, so we did go across, and these are actually exposed on the front lawn. We didn't even have to do any digging. They're just, the rocks are all dark gray color, so when we first walked up to the house this morning, it kind of blended in, but we did find them. They are above ground, so we're going to go ahead and pause and move down to the side of the house to look at the first clean out to see how that's connected, and then we'll move to the front yard. Okay, so you can see we've now moved over to the side of the house, right outside the 2 bathrooms here. And so here's that clean out we were referring to. That's right here in the ground. That is newer ABS. Wipe off our camera lens there. So it's a very small minor point, but we just have to point it out since we're a licensed plumbing company. So this is a test cap. This is a 3-inch ABS pipe. So California code requires that all clean outs be a threaded plug or cap. So this is so minor, but anyway, we just need to point it out that you can't use these rubber test caps. It has to be a threaded clean out plug. So anyway, we're going to go look down this pipe here to make sure that this is an access. So if they ever do need to snake out the main for the portion other than using the front yard clean out, you'd use this one because there is that T-junction on the line and you can't get to the whole system from the front yard. So you can see there's a bunch of little debris in the pipe right there. We're going to pull back our lens here for a second. We're going to have to flush some water down the line possibly. Okay, there we go. So we're inside there, and there you can see those are those wipes that we had pointed out that were hanging down from the toilet line when we came down from the vent right there. So that's right above that vent T. So this is in fact connected to the main sewer and is a clean out access that you can clean from here to that first turn on the line. The front yard would be used to clean the rest of the system out. We also have to verify there's no area drains. That's not allowed to be tied into the sewer, so that's why we also check this one really quick. So this is just a connection into the main sewer that was extended and redone probably when they redid the concrete area right here. So that's that portion of the system. We're now going to move to the front yard. Okay, so you can see here we're now in the front yard here right next to the edge of the house. Here's the clean out. As you can see, these are the threaded cleanouts. Now again, a very small issue, doesn't really need to be redone, but we just have to point it out. So anytime you have a pipe, you're not supposed to reduce the size of the cleanout. So this is a 3-inch ABS pipe here and another 3-inch cleanout there. And they glued internally a reducer with threads, and so now it's a 2.5-inch plug, not a 3-inch. So when you're trying to snake and clean out a line, you need a full access for cabling and the bits that go in the front, and when you reduce it like that on the main sewer, you can't do that. So it's a very minor point, not a big deal, but we just need to point it out. So this first clean out that's closest to the home sweeps away from the house. So we're going to go ahead and see if this camera will enable us to get through those couple turns. We have a couple different cameras, so we may have to try a few things to get through these 90s, but we'll try this one first here. And we may need to run some water both to help get through as well as to clean up the lens. Okay, we were able to get through there. So you can see we are in 4-inch clay pipe. There's a little bit of debris in our camera lens, so what we're going to do is kind of rapidly push through this. We're mostly looking for root intrusions in the clay as well as any other areas holding water, kind of like we have right there, just a little bit. And then when our lens cleans off, we'll come back in reverse. And we'll get a more clear view of what's going on with the piping and the system here. So we're going to push this all the way out to the city here. Bit of an offset right there, and there you go. There's the city line right here. So from this clean out, we're right about 59 feet. We're going to drop our camera into the main sewer right here. See if that can help clean off our lens with some of that running water, but it doesn't look like it's really going to too well. But we've got a pretty good view right there, it looks like. So our lens is kind of cleaned off. So now we're going to come back in reverse and show all this 4-inch clay. This is all the homeowner's responsibility. So even though it's under the street and after the property line, sidewalk, easement, and street area, it is still the responsibility of the homeowner to maintain and actually fix this line in the city of La Mesa if anything ever goes bad. Now, clay pipe rarely ever goes bad. It's just like plastic ABS. It really lasts forever. The only issue we typically have with clay is that the roots intrude from the hubs because they're just a greased up rubber boot. They're not glued or banded together. So we'll come back across this 4-inch clay pipe. So again, the house is 3-inch, and then after that vertical property line, it turns into 4-inch. So coming back across, no roots there, looks good. No roots in that hub, that looks good. Just a bunch of debris, feces right there in the line. Some more paper. That hub looks clear, no roots. That miniature amount of standing water there is the reason why some of that debris is not moving completely all the way out during the usage. So you can see there's a little bit of water settled on the bottom. There's not perfect downhill slope. Again, this is what we call maybe a miniature, but a sag in the line. Again, this is under the street. It's not fixable, but it's minutia. It's nothing to really worry about. There's a little hub there, looks clean and clear, and you can see that one had a miniature offset. That's also why sometimes these pipes will have that little bit of water being held up. But everything looks good. No foreign objects or construction debris, no roots so far. We're getting close to where we're going to convert back to the cast iron. So just a little bit of more debris right there. Just got this normal flush debris. Everything's looking good. And there's our cast iron transition. So we don't have any roots in the line. That's always our biggest issue with clay pipe. So we're now going to be coming across this few feet. Now we're making that 90-degree turn up. We're coming up those few feet of vertical pipe. And now we're transitioning back to the horizontal. And there's that original property line clean out right there. So that does not need to be brought to surface. Everything's in good condition on the main sewer line. We've got clean outs to clean out the entire portion of the system, if need be, if it ever did clog up from some type of abuse. Other than that, we obviously recommend that the laundry line, which would then farther out includes the kitchen line, be snaked. At that time, if the owner wants to try to camera the kitchen line, you can, but it's not always a guarantee the cameras can get through there unless that pipe's been upgraded. But it does need to be snaked because there's that heavy debris blocking the laundry 2-inch cast iron pipe. We couldn't even get into any portion of the kitchen to try to look at some of it. Other than that, that's the only thing that we recommend on this system. So we'll go ahead and pull back out, and so that concludes the recording for this property.